Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment, and the more things change, the more they stay the same, because Amazon MGM Studios has clearly learned nothing, as the new rumour regarding James Bond is that none other than Aaron Pierre is being eyed to be the next James Bond. You may be going, I recognise the name, but I can't place him. He's going to be playing John Stewart in Lanterns. He's also black. Yeah, that's right. They're still looking at this whole race swap idea, because isn't that just the smartest idea in this day and age? And of course people will jump in and start going, oh, you're just being a racist, you're being a bigot. I'm sorry to hurt your little fifis, but unfortunately, here's the thing, James Bond is white. Get over it, move on. You always say it's no big deal. Why are you all getting angry when they change these? It's no big. And yet you're all losing your goddamn collective minds over a white Black Panther, aren't you? So stay in your lane. James Bond is white. But let's have a look at this, and then we'll actually talk a little bit about what James Bond is meant to actually look like. So it's saying earlier this year, we got word that Amazon MGM Studios had enlisted Amy Pascal, of all things, and David Heyman to oversee the latest movie in the long-running James Bond franchise after securing the rights from producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. And we may now know one of the actors they have their eye on to take over from Daniel Craig as the next incarnation of 007. According to scooper Daniel Richmond, Aaron Pierre is being considered for the role. Though he's not sure if any meetings have actually taken place, Richmond adds that filming is tentatively scheduled to commence at some point next year, but no director is attached as far as he knows. Pierre, 31, appeared in the likes of Old, Brother, Krypton, and the Underground Railroad before his big break came in Netflix's action thriller Rebel Ridge. He then went on to land the co-lead of John Stewart in DC and HBO's Lantern series. Rumours that the next Bond could be played by a black actor have been doing the rounds since before Craig's final outing, No Time to Die, had even left theatres. Idris Elba was a firm fan favourite choice to play the iconic super spy for years, but never really showed much interest in the gig. If Pierre is on the studio's radar, he is probably only one of several actors who are being eyed for the part. Deadline recently reported on details of an internal memo that was said to have circulated at Amazon and MGM, which stipulated that the spy will not change gender or nationality, though Pierre has adopted a convincing American accent in a number of projects. He is actually an Englishman. And here's the thing to also add to that they don't have in here, is that Amazon, including Jeff Bezos, did come out and flat out say James Bond will continue to be a white man. And that is the thing. He is white. How white is he? Well, he's based off a real person. This is the thing nobody wants to go with. He is based, his look and image is based off a real person. And that person's name is Hoagie Carmichael. It's a guy that Ian Fleming actually knew. And his look is who he based the James Bond character off. Now, he did add a couple of things, such as the eyes were going to be blue to almost grey. There is one other thing that James Bond has in the books that they've never actually done in the movies, is that he does have a 3-inch scar on his face, which you can actually see in the new game that's coming out. It's a 3-inch scar on his right cheek, and he's meant to have a cruel mouth. But again, the look of Bond, which you can see actual descriptions of what the character's meant to look like and who it's actually based off. So Ian Fleming created this character, and he based the character off a real person. The actual idea of James Bond himself is of a naval guy that Ian Fleming knew. The look was off this guy Carmichael. They're both white. They were both white. And it doesn't matter that it was written way back in the day. The fact of the matter is this character is white, and any change to that, whether it's make him slightly tan, make him a black man, make him a woman, make him trans, make him gay, any change like that, the character is no longer Ian Fleming's James Bond. That's the end of it. There's no arguing that. Again, for the people who are going, oh, what's the big deal? It's about time a black man plays this character. First of all, why? Tell me why it's about time that a black man plays this character. Because that argument makes zero sense. That would be the same as us turning around and go, you know what, after all these years, it's about time Shaft was played by a white dude. It makes no sense. It's like, well, why would Shaft be played by a white guy? He's a black guy. That's the whole thing about the character. He's a black guy. Same with James Bond. He's a straight, heterosexual, white British man. And the fact that people keep trying to change that, you're no longer making James Bond. Sorry to burst your bubble there, but that's the reality of it. It's no longer James Bond once you make any fundamental changes like that. And the idea that they're looking at someone like Aaron Pierre, I've nothing against the guy. I don't think I've actually seen him in anything, but I don't have anything against him. You know, I hope he does well in Lanterns, even though the first image of it just looked like your standard TV show that didn't look anything like a superhero show. But he's not James Bond. Idris Elba, as much as I like Idris Elba in his roles, he's not James Bond. I'm sorry to say that. Look at the arguments that came out when Daniel Craig got cast as James Bond. There was in fact two arguments, one of which people always forget. The main one, of course, was that he was blonde. And of course, James Bond is not blonde. He has black hair, which is in part of the description, is that he has black hair with this short curl that comes down on his forehead. And people went nuts because Daniel Craig was blonde. There was another controversy regarding Daniel Craig, which people forget about and don't talk about, and that was that his chest was shaved, when it's very well established that James Bond has a hairy chest. A very hairy chest. And every other iteration of the character from the actors playing them had that hairy chest. Daniel Craig didn't. And people complained about that as well. If people, the die-hard fans of James Bond, are complaining about an actor's hair colour and the fact that he doesn't even have a hairy chest, is what they were giving out about. Imagine if they turn around and go, oh, by the way, we're now going to just make him a black dude. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. James Bond doesn't need to be black. There's none of this, oh, well, it's so many years now, it's about time he's a black man. No, screw off with that argument, because that's a stupid argument, and you have no actual justification for that argument. You can't simply go, well, it's because he was always white, it's about time he was a black man. That's stupid. That is stupid. And again, that is like saying Shaft has always been a black man, it's about time he's a white man. You would lose your shit over it. So, at the end of the day, look, this is a rumour. Will he be cast? Probably not. But the fact that they're even considering and talking about him just shows you how stupid Amazon, and in particular Amy Pascal, which should be no surprise, truly is regarding the next casting for James Bond. And we're truly being shown that this franchise is in the worst possible hands. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.